this conversation is important. A conversation on taking back PNG is incomplete without us capturing from the benefits of resource projects that are harvested in our country. And I just want to say up front, we don't want to grow GDP elsewhere. From every resource that is harvested in our country, we want it to have a cascading effect into growing our GDP in our country. And a greater conversation is about optimizing and maximizing local content in any space and capacity. And I am happy that the Chamber of Mining and Petroleum have allowed for this conversation right in the face of the next huge wave of new world-class projects that are descending upon this country, especially in the mining and petroleum sector. So thank you very much, Mrs. Marape and the team. I really appreciate this conversation, engaging our land costs, engaging our Papua New Guinean companies, engaging Papua New resident companies. Whether you're from north, east, west, south of the planet, doesn't matter. If you have been with us for the last 48 years, you are as much as a Papua New company yourself. Because you pay tax, you employ Papua New Guineans, and I just want to tell you, everyone who have been participating in this industry in the last 48 years we have been country, I appreciate each and every one of you. Governor Wege, your country, your province, rather, you're all qualified to be a country, but your province. I say this in the context of, I've just come back from a meeting with MSG, leaders in the Pacific. 100,000 is a country, 30,000 is a country, 15,000 is a country by their standards, because size may be small, but the land and the sea space, in fact, is much bigger. They are sovereign nations. But we are a big nation, a conglomerate of many cultures and tribe into one people, one nation, one country. Many thought that 1975 we would fail and would no more be country. But 48 years on, we live as one people, one country, one nation. Governor, you and your body of provincial governments have been an important anchor to the unity we have as a country. I want to also, from the context of our country, appreciate the Marape province, not just in the last 48 years, but even before our sovereignty. You, from Marape, played an important point of distribution of services to all parts of the country, and I will do so all the time. We'll come back to Marape. We will discuss the mining space, while Marape hosted one of the busiest airport airstrips in the early 1900s. You have to go back into time and do research. The Bulolo airstrips were the busiest in the 1900s, 1918, 1920, 1930s. They were searching for gold. Someone did fell into the history, maybe those golds found their way elsewhere. But in any case, past is past. We need to converse beyond the past and converse into the future. Converse beyond just discussions of royalty and tax and into optimizing value chain of every resource project in the country. That is why I make no apology with anyone in 2019 when I pronounced that we must take back ownership of our resources. Simply put, not to do so, we're putting at the risk the billions of investment we are collectively making into Papua New Guinea. The value of, for instance, value of what used to be Bangura mine is into billions of dollars, not to mention Kenya. The value of the hill is into billions. The value of Bangura is into billions. Total asset, not to include the resource that we are harvesting, but the actual development on the ground. The value of today's hidden valley is billion-dollar assets out there. The value of Kudubu, the value of PNG LNG today at 4 or 3 years away from repaying the conglomerate of financing used to finance the project. The value of PNG LNG is in tens of billions. of dollar, if not kina. These assets stand at the risk of the sovereignty of tribes who live in their vicinity, sovereignty of people who live in the vicinity of these projects. That is why a conversation on local content, empowering people closest to the resource, empowering people around the project area footprint, and empowering government closest to the people, the provincial governments. And in the case of Bougainville, the Bougainville government is contemporary and is relevant, because not to consider them is at peril or at a possible cost to the project going forward into the future. And so I want to appreciate the relevance of this conversation. To take us back into time and look at the said Bougainville crisis came as a result of a 1967 Act of Parliament that consolidated the Bougainville project and had minimal respect to landowner values and their rights, and minimal respect to the government closest to the people, the Bougainville provincial government. And so Papua New Guinea psyche as a government is heavily influenced by the fact that we've never respected governments and provincial governments in a big way in the past. Since then, in the projects that has come after the Bougainville crisis, government has developed, and I'm sort of looking retrospectively to lay a case of what we are doing as correct. Since then, government has developed into giving a little bit of royalty, a little bit of equity to provincial governments and the landowners. Today, we are speaking to Papua New Guinea with 12 million people, maybe 14 million people, maybe 15. Next year, we will do a full census to test of how many we have in the country. The need has compounded. The expectations have grown. People, educated, semi-educated, or have knowledge on what is right, what is entitlement. And so it is in government's interest to ensure all parties sit on the table to have a piece of the pie. Whether a piece of the pie in actual harvest benefit, but more importantly, a piece of the pie at every stage of the project going forward. And hence the conversation of local content is important. A piece of the pie at the exploration stage, a piece of the pie at construction stage, a continued piece of the pie at operational stage, and not just waiting for royalty, equity, and tax and cutback. Optimization of resource benefit for our country is important because that secures the fullest security of any projects going into the future. If people are happy, the country is happy, the investor is happy. Simple as that. If people are not happy, then all of us, government will be made to be policemen in project areas. 5, 10 years from today, in fact 10 years from today, the next 10 years we will wait the more of the space and intervention in the educational sector and other all spaces of our economy. But 10 years from today, I don't want to be the policeman in project areas. Now people would have been settled, they're participating in businesses, they're all engaged, and they can appreciate developments, whether it's government sector development or industrial sector development in and around the community. So it's very, very important to engage in people participating in spin-offs of the resource project harvest, or resource project development, or resource project exploration at all stages. Whether it's at the conglomerate of level of business like in MRDC, or whether it's an individual clan conglomeration or individual business who are participating in the project areas. We must optimize empowering our people where they are in terms of them participating in business. And I want to indicate from our front, our government values local content conversations. We want local content envelope to be looked at the highest. We have enough now, and we have enough capacity of being security companies and being logistic companies at the lower level, and being supplier of producers to catering companies I think Papua New Guinea has space to elevate to higher levels of local content. That definition, both the industry and the commercial industry, mining department and petroleum department must sit inside and look at what are the levels of local content we must participate in, so that our people then have a skin in the game and become important community affairs relations officers of both the company and the government in respective project areas. Needless to repeat, to leave them behind is really at the expense of the investors. I'm not saying we will not protect, government is here to protect every investment, but sustainable protection is really anchored in everyone participating in business. Everyone participating in business. To all the large-scale investors in our country, and by the way, Papua New Guinea is privileged to have some of the world's biggest investors in our country. In the mining sector, with the latest entry of Newmont, we have the #1 gold company in our country. With the continued presence of Barrick, we have the #2 gold company in our country. In the oil and gas sector, the #1 oil company in Expo is in our country. The #1 gas company in the world is in our country, Total. So the top big force in the mining or gold sector and oil and gas is in our country. And then of course the biggest in our region, Santos. Thankfully, Santos has picked up the oil assets, and Santos a big fifth in our country. And so there is no question to the investment ability of Papua New Guinea to attract world-class investors. But as we come in and take residence, I just want the investors at every level, and I appreciate all the investors who are here today, the conversation on elevating local content participation is a must. Because it secures your investment, it establishes better PR. And I'm happy this conference is associated two important subtopics together into one: Community Affairs and National Content Conference. Expo. So relevant that they're together. So the big companies with effective community relations is engaging locals to participate in business. Simple as that. Don't bring me so-called PhD holders from outside to come and be community experts here. They know nothing about agriculture. They know nothing about agriculture. They know nothing about the Nigerian culture. Just give public in his businesses. And these businesses will become your PR men on the ground and secure your investment. Because government will not forever. Government will not be forever fighting our own people as we write the war in this space. They are people. I have leaded last time when I said, 2 nights ago, I said in the Bougainville leader, the commander of the Bougainville Revolution Army, he told me we were fighting the wrong fight. And I said, the same fight you're fighting with guns, I'm fighting for the policy front. With respect to investors' return on investment, your world-class bank's return on investment will be given respect. But the residual value of the project economy, this country must benefit. The residual interest of the project economy, this country must benefit. The government now has a policy that the total project economy of any project at minimum 60 to 65%. And that's not a conversation on equity. Equity conversation is different. I'm talking about the project, total project economy, the value of the project. At 60 to 65. If not, if your project open book modeling tell me that this is not sustainable for your return on investment, then high 50s maybe, but it's on a case-by-case projects, depending on the circumstances, the cost structure of the project, the viability of the project. But we want a higher residual value of the project economy taught in Papua New Guinea, remains in Papua New Guinea, incubates continuous spin-offs in the economy so that you continue to do business in a growth economy and not in a restricted economy. I I want to appreciate all of you who are in the industry thus far. You've been paying your tax and you've been participating well in the local content space. Go back into your operations and look in the books. We don't want to grow Australian GDP, Chinese GDP, Philippines GDP, American GDP. Resource harvest in Papua New Guinea must grow Papua New Guinea GDP, period. I make my apology to anyone. This is a statement that respects companies' return on investment. You will make your profit. Hire up ladies, hire up capacities, business engaged in the work, and exploration, construction, and operation must have maximum benefit filters down into the country. In that way, the country is happy, people are happy, you are happy, you continue making a return for the shareholders in the long run. As part of the project, we're signing will have life over 40 years, 30 years. Yesterday I was privileged to meet Expo, and last November I announced our priority for 4 P's and 1 W. Guess what? Today we have a second W. As a resource with a second W, I'll leave it to Expo to announce at the right time. But as a second W, that is maybe a P1 resource in the LNG term, or maybe a P2 resource in the LNG term. It's not a conference for me to announce what is P1 and P2, but it's quite substantial. Quite substantial. I've been around in the sector. In case you don't think I haven't been around in the sector, I'm a mining and oil and gas sector person. I lived my life in this space after leaving university, running around in Papua, running around in Heights, running around in Kulubu, and in my spare time I've been studying this space, and I'm deeply conversant with these conversations. Deeply conversant with these conversations, including respecting the margin of investors making a return on investors. We will never compromise investors making a return on investment, but the optimum value of the economy must sink into this country. Together, you and me, we have to do better. This country has 1/10 of the world's known tropical rainforests, 6 to 7% of the world's biodiversity. The effect of mining and oil and gas has an impact on the environment. But we want to minimize that. We want to optimize the value of it so that it grows our economy today in present time, and more importantly, creates sustainable, value-adding, intergenerational spin-off businesses that runs and runs and runs into time for Petroleum. And the industries who are here today, you are sensitive. While I appreciate PNG chambers of mine in Petroleum, you've been cognizant in the way we are thinking contemporarily. This is not to harm or hurt investors, but rather to work with you to secure so that PNG grows and we grow together. There is no country in the world that investors, even at the major investment levels, or even junior, to make a return on investments. And even at the spin-off levels, you ask those in the real estate business, you ask the Chinese investors, or Australian investors, or public investors. If you invest 100,000 in real estate today, in public market, you have a return on investment in 10 years. In China, you maybe have a return on investment in 20 to 30 years. In Australia, you have a return on investment in 40 years. That's how attractive this market is. We want to make it even better. So we will respect your space in making profit, but let's have a serious conversation on opening up the space of local content that should have in the terms of this conversation, downstream processing also. Downstream processing also, because it is part of value-adding conversations in making the country. The Papua have the ability to rise up in business. Vice Chancellor, I just said my thank you for your on this side of my speech. Thank you very much for producing the University of Technology students. They're working in some of world-class mines in the world today as I speak. They're working around and abroad and also within. In last week I had 6 Papua New couples. Papua New Guinea couples. They met at the University of Technology. Students. All of us are married to Vanuatu boys and down there. That's good for us. We have kids in all of our university. But they're ex-Unitec graduates. So University of Technology graduates all over the world as I speak. And this is an indication that we can have world-class Papua New Guinean employees, technocrat level as well as at the office level, but more importantly also at the business level. We can help, and we have the capacity. And I want to encourage our conversation to now look deeper into what is the level of local content we must be engaged upon. Next 13 years, really 14 years, 15 years is an important phase in our country coming up. Papua LNG FID next year. After Papua LNG FID and they go into construction, we hope to migrate construction from Papua LNG to Penang LNG. And after Penang LNG, we hope to migrate construction from Penang LNG into the other W that I just alluded to. That will see construction in the oil and gas space running from 2024 all the way to 2038 if our planning and our focus is on target. So that's just construction in the oil and gas space in 3 major projects, not to mention the associated fields, the stranded fields, and the coastal fields elsewhere in the country. We throw in Wafi-Golpu and we start up a program, and possibly all the other resources that we have within our country, then in the next 13, 14, 15, 16 years, not 20 years, is a growth time facing our country. And I want us, the industry and government, to take our local people with us. Let's not leave our local people behind. Let's not leave our landlords behind. We must take them with us. They must grow with the growth of business happening in place. Papua New Guinea in 2023 is not Papua New Guinea in 1923. 100 years ago, Papua New Guinea has over 100 years of contact with the mining business. While below has over 100 years of contact with the mining business. Contemporarily, we have 48 years of contact with the mining and oil and gas business. Let's define better what is local contact so that people can enjoy a bigger pie project economy than just making royalty, equity, dividend, and one or two of the businesses, really catering. And so I want this conversation to progress beyond here into a better definition of what is local content without compromising the quality aspect. And to all the other businesses who are here, and people of this country, when we define what is local content, we expect you to step up and give also. Investors and government. Government today, as I speak under my words, is giving more focus on PIP than ever before within the context of the resource capital here. So when we give you contract, when companies give you contract, they expect quality deliverables, delivery and safety. Prime Ministers in the first instance. So ourselves within, we have to be honest. As we prepare to rise up to meet the avalanche of major investments in our country that will happen in the next 15 to 20 years, or 13 to 20 years, we must rise up. Your company's accountability and structure. I come from the PDL1 area upstairs, and there's a small company called Igil and Corporation. I think they return more shareholdings to the people than any other company in the country. Small as they may be. The reason why they believe in Mr. Nagal is sitting there, he set up the company many years ago, and I have single him out. The others in the vicinity, they set up, they pick a contract, they hardly deliver, they go bust, they reinvent themselves up, and they come up with another company, same name, but another company. That is not what we want to do. When your government wants to support you, we expect you to rise up yourself. We expect you to rise up. Set the standards. Make sure your accounting and your reporting structure and your performance is up to speed, because the company who's giving the contract expects delivery of quality service and quality. Not subservient servicing standard. When you reinvent yourself up in that's another form because you get your big title as landowner. It's not your birthright in the first instance. Your birthright is royalty and equity. But by negotiations and your ability, they have secured your services. I just want to also at the same time counsel businesses who landowners who are going to the space of business. Your blood leniency into that project area does not give it a right to bid as a company if you don't have the capacity. much wiser. Governments to the business development grant allocations in all our major projects. For instance, Wafikolpu, we have business development grant allocation. Papua we start up, we have business development grant allocation. These are government allocations to try to assist you, capacitate you where you are. A structure that is representing all governments in various project areas. And so I just want to ask all governments, want to get engaged in local content or public unions for the matter, step up and prepare yourself. And not just wait around with a papers company thinking that you can go to a big multinational and participate in business. It doesn't have a difference. You have to prepare yourself. And if you don't know how to prepare, instead of having one company that is owned by one person, going to approve companies that is owned by majority like MRBC. They will assist us, set up structure properly, get going in a combined force than individual plan-based individual families and companies. I just thought I'd give a sideline, and we said many other commentary to a conversation with them on the companies yourself, and I could get engaged on this one. But I want to say, we're working very hard to optimize local content. We might look at putting special seed capitals to support the local companies to get up capacity. On the side, we want to use also the right side. Participating in businesses. I want to conclude by thanking us all. If we can define better what is local content and define the various level of businesses, our level of companies, and provincial government companies, and national companies can participate in, government stands ready to assist these companies mature and progress in those spaces. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to say one or two words here. We're living in an exciting time that is coming up. Our conversations here really goes to the heart of our national constitution. It talks about integral human development, equality, participation, national sovereignty and self-reliance, national resource and environment, and public interest. This is not just one conversation. It's a 1975 philosophy. Our national mission, our national constitution directive, talks about integral human development, talks about equality and participation, talks about national sovereignty and self-reliance, talks about natural resources and environment, and talks about public interest. Thank all investors who are here with us. You've been part of us for the journey. You're living a very exciting part of planet Earth. At the national level, we relate to the big Asian market like no other country elsewhere. I want to repeat this. At the national level, we relate to big economies of the world like no other country elsewhere. Those of you who are in the LNG market space, the spot market from PNG is much easier to find than elsewhere. It's closer, easier. I give you two projects for you to make comparison. The Gogon project, 25% owned by Expo, half owned by, I don't know whether it's Santos or elsewhere. Gogon project started on the PNG LNG around 2008. In fact, they were a little bit earlier. PNG LNG completed in a very complex 60,000 people environment in many tribes. PNG LNG delivered on time, under budget, earlier than Gogon project in Australia. Faced a lot of progress. That's our testament that this country has the power of government to support our development project get off the ground. We are a very good place for investment. Let's find some of these missing pieces, small as it may be in our conversation, but very, very big in the conversation of creating an environment that has the ambience of safety. So all of us prosper. People prosper, provinces and national government prosper, and investors prosper. We are leaving our people behind. I look forward to the maturity of these conversations. I look forward to the rest of your participation in October in China. Our first time we have opened up doors to participate in China. Thank you, Mr. Smart and the team. I hear that the spaces are being selling out like hotcakes. I'm going and meeting President Xi Jinping after that conference. China is a big market. Japan remains a big market. Korea is a big market. India is a big market. Of course, closer to home, Indonesia and Malaysia, this place is a big market. Our traditional markets in the West are always there for us. You're at the right place at the right time. Let's take our people with us. And when they're happy, we continue to make more profit in public. Thank you very much. God bless each and everyone.